everyone, I'm Needlecraft Annie. This is Flosstube number 105, and I'm here to show you my cross-stitch whips. First of all, I wanted to say it's the first time in like forever that it's actually a very sunny and bright day on the day I'm filming. The last few basically months, it's always been very rainy and gray outside, and today it's not. But that causes some problems. You might see it on my face. The sun is shining directly into my window, and at the moment it does not hit my camera, but if the sun moves, which happens over time, it might happen that it actually hits the camera directly and then the camera basically goes blind. I had it while setting it up and yeah, you could see nothing anymore. So I might have to stop in between and readjust the camera a little bit, just so you can actually see something. But yeah, we're just going to start normal and hoping that everything works out and it's not disturbing too much on the fabric. I'm going to show you all my whips, and like I did last time, whenever I show you one of my whips, I'm also going to tell you what my plan on this specific whip is for this week, as I only at the moment have 6 projects left where I haven't finished my goal on yet. That should work out. And in the end, I wanted to ask some questions. On my last video, I got some questions, and so I thought I would answer them in the end of the video. But first, we're going to start with my whips, and the first one I want to show you is Sleepy Hollow by Glen & Place, and that's going to be the finished piece, and I'll show you where I was last time you saw it. And this is where I got to, I think, yeah, on this side it works better. So I did a lot. I'm really happy with what I did. Basically, I completely backstitched this pumpkin over here and then moved a little bit into the hand down here with the backstitching. I couldn't do a whole lot because a lot of the cross stitches are still missing, but I did what I could, and then I stitched a lot in the horse itself. I actually did some backstitching in the horse as well. I'm not sure if you can see that. Yeah, up here you can see it a little bit over here. Yeah, I'm really happy with what I did. This one is stitched on a 28 count casual linen in the colorway Haunted by Picture This Plus. The needleminder is from Danka Designs. And I'm stitching 2/2 with the called for anchor colors. There's a conversion for DMC and one for Sullivan USA. And the original charting was done in Anchor, and then it was converted into those other 2 brands. So I'm stitching with Anchor. It's easier to get in Germany than DMC, so why not stitch it in Anchor? And I'm so happy with how far I got. And till the end of the year, I basically want to finish the first row of pages, and I'm going to put it on the bottom of the screen, and basically everything that's now in the screen has to be filled in, and then I have reached my year-end goal. So not a whole lot left to do. A lot of backstitching that I still have to do, but stitching wise, I'm getting kind of close. So this was my daily piece last week, where I did 2 lengths of thread every day, and it got chosen as my daily piece for this week as well. My daily piece are basically all my whipco projects that are called but not yet completed. And all of those are in a Tiny Decisions wheel, and I spin randomly every week which project will be my daily piece. And this week, once again, it will be Sleepy Hollow. So once again, I'm going to do 2 lengths of thread every day, and I want to first concentrate on the horse, hopefully finishing the horse, and then moving into the man. And I actually realized I thought I had finished all of the moon on page number, or on the first row of pages. There's 1 stitch of moon somewhere down here. So I might also do 1 length of the moon soonish, just to have it actually done. And yeah, that's Sleepy Hollow. And I'm so happy with this one. It looks amazing. And I can't wait to come back to it, and I can do that today. So yeah, going to stitch my 2 lengths of thread on this one today, and I might get close to finishing my yarn goal then with that. So that's pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to that. Okay, next was the piece I took as travel stitching, but also stitched on while being at home, as it is in my rotation as well. This piece is the Twisted Band Sampler, over here, by Northern Expressions Needlework. This is going to be the finished piece, and I was working in band number 11, which is the band with the roses in here. So I show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I got to. Super happy I finished band number 11. It was my goal for this week, and I wasn't sure I would be able to actually do it, but I was. So I finished band number 11, and then I started with the first specialty stitch in the next specialty stitches band. Yeah, really happy. So first of all, this is stitched on a 32 count white opalescent linen, and I'm stitching with the cord for Dinky Dies. On the pattern, there's a conversion for Dinky Dies, for DMC, and one for Over Reservoir. I decided to go with the Dinky Dies. Needleminder is from Caterpillar Cross Stitch, and as indicated in the pattern, I stitch my full crosses 1/2, and basically all the specialty stitches are stitched with 1 strand of floss as well, except for those satin stitches in band number 10. Those were stitched with 2 lengths of thread. So I bring band 11 a little bit closer so you can see all those beautiful roses. And I have to go on the other side due to the sun. And then I started with band number 12. Basically, I totally forgot what that stitch is called, but you do that stitch, then something else, and then you repeat the first stitch in the first color, and then you move to color number 2. Repeat once again this first stitch, then something else, and then once again that stitch over here. I'm not super happy with how this stitch looks. I'm doing it the correct way. I'm very certain about that, and I'm not yet sure if I like it or not. But we will see whenever I get the next stitch in. I think it will look better. Yeah, so my goal for this one this week, it would be amazing to finish this bright green, which means this first stitch, something else, and once again this first stitch, which is quite a lot, I think. But it would be amazing to do that. And then next time stitching on this one, I can switch to my next color, which is a light blue, and I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, that would be nice to finish that color. And that's the whole piece. Sorry. That's the whole piece so far. So yeah, I'm absolutely in love. Can't wait to stitch some more on this one. It will be my treble stitching from today on until Saturday. On Sunday I will have something else, but I'm going to show you that in the end. Okay, now let's move to my other pieces that are just in my rotation. Nothing special about that. First, we're going with the Cinderella Rex Riches by John Elliott. I'm stitching the combined version up here, and I show you where I was last time you saw it. And this is where I got to. So I'm actually quite happy with this. What did I do? I did stitch a lot more of the screen down here, slowly filling in her skirt, and I did a bit more of the towel over here, but not a whole lot. But I'm looking forward to continue stitching on this one, to hopefully do all the green around the second towel over here as well, because I'm getting closer and closer to finishing that towel. I think I have only a little bit of white left, and then I could finally backstitch both of those towels, and then there's a little bit of red backstitching in here as well that I haven't done yet because I first wanted to have everything done, because it's really just a little bit, and therefore I don't want to bring the red thread out to do 2 backstitches and then park it or something like that. That's just not worth it. So I wanted to wait until I have finished all those towels, but I also need to finish all the stitches around the towel. So that's kind of my goal for next week, to have all of that finished. With this one, I'm going from top to bottom, left to right. Always pick the next symbol that's not yet stitched and then do 1 length of thread with that color, and then I move on to the next not yet stitched symbol. So, and backstitching as I go. Beads and Kranich are all completely done on the whole Cinderella and Rex already. So yeah, I'm getting closer. I think down here her legs start, so that's something to look forward to. Not going to stitch those anytime soon, but I'm getting closer to that point, and that's something I'm really looking forward to, which sounds crazy, but that means I'm coming closer to the end of the project. And yeah, that's nice. So this one is stitched on the 28 count casual linen in the colorway Fog by Pictures Plus, and the needleminder is from Denker Designs, and this is the whole piece so far. This year I want to finish Cinderella and Rex, so the complete left side of the pattern, which is still quite a while to do. There are some pumpkins down here. I have to complete the bucket. There's some ground you have to stitch. So yeah, still quite a lot to do, but I'm looking forward to doing it. And as I said, this week it would be really nice to finish those 2 towels. Yeah, it's time for them to be done, and I want to finish the red backstitching, so I only have to concentrate on the black for now. There's some brown backstitching down in the broom and in the bucket, and I think also in the pumpkin. So yeah, but every bit of progress is progress, and finishing red backstitching is a finish of some kind, and I always celebrate stuff like that. So yeah, that's that. And I think my needle, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Okay. Next, let's move to the project I kind of abandoned for the last 2 rotations and did not stitch on. That's Raven Queen by Mirabilia. And yeah, she's beautiful. This year I want to finish the first half of the pattern, which basically, I go on this side. Okay. If you can see that line over there, that's backstitched. And that's exactly the halfway point of the pattern. So everything above that, I want to finish this year. So I show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I got to. So happy. Basically, I did stitch a lot on this side of the pattern. And I finished those 2 turrets. I did a bit more in the border, so I finished the right side of the border on the first half of the page. The first half of the pattern. And I did all of those stitches over here and here. I did a little bit more in here and in her dress down here. And I started with the raven over there. So basically on this page missing, or on this on this right third of the pattern. So everything on the right to her dress in the first half of the pattern is just the raven. So this week I want to complete the raven. I want to do a little bit more in her dress, so I will be able to backstitch that line down here, and then the right side of the pattern will be completely done. So that's the goal for this week, to completely finish everything right to her dress. And if I have some time left, which I'm really hoping, I want to continue stitching in this pillow over here and hopefully more or less complete that. I did a little bit more of stitching over here. Basically, those are the colors over here. I ran out of stitches on this side, and I had still some thread on my needle. So I moved over here and just finished my thread. So yeah, that's my Raven Queen. She is so beautiful. She's stitched on a 32 count grey linen over 2/4 crosses, needleminder from Lenka Designs. And I always want to hold her on my left because that's where I always hold my projects. But that's not working with the window, so I always have to hold it to my left, to my right. So that's kind of complicated to remember. But yeah, that's her. And as I said, the goal for this week to finish that raven over here and maybe even move on to the left of her dress. Because I want to first finish the background and then concentrate on her dress. In her dress itself, there will be some more color changes and some, not only some, but a lot of beads as well. Those are basically, so the whole background over here are basically only 2 colors, 2 Karen water lilies. So they are a little bit variegated. But it was fast because it were only 2 colors. So she will take a little bit longer then. But she's beautiful already. I love it. So now I have to finish the raven, and the raven actually has a few more colors in it than this one did. This one was basically just black and then a little bit of gray backstitching. This one has a lot of black, but also a lot of different grayish colors. So, but yeah, that's the goal. Finish the raven. And I'm really looking forward to getting this whole piece done, because she will just look amazing. But that's not going to happen this year. Okay, and now on to the last project of my rotation and the last project I stitched on this week. Norwegian Tip and the Sail by Golden Kite. This is the small edition. Golden Kite has a larger one and I think a medium as well. Not sure about that. But yeah, this is the small edition. And I show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. This one makes me absolutely happy. This is where I got to. I have a page for this. So basically, last time you saw it, I was in this column over here. I was close to finishing that column and I finished that. And yesterday I decided to go on with this column and try to get as much done as I possibly can. And I actually finished it. It was so nice to actually be back in a column with only background. I totally forgot how fast those columns were until I got to that ship, because that ship is confetti hell. But the background, yeah, it's quite a bit of confetti and a lot of colors, but it's actually kind of fast. So yeah, I'm just really happy with how far I got. This one is stitched on an 18 count antique white Ada. I'm stitching 2/1/4 crosses, needleminder from Lenka Designs. And I bring it a little bit closer because I'm just so freaking happy. With page number 3. Page 3 is now done. I have pages 1, 2, and 3 done, and also page number 9. So this week I'm going to start on page number 10 in this first column, where already the next sails will start. So basically I'm going to start those sails over here, which I'm looking forward to, but it's also a lot of work and a lot of confetti, but there are less than 400 stitches missing until I have finished my year-end goal. So I'm not even sure if I will complete this column or just do one day of stitching, probably tomorrow, because I'm off work tomorrow, which means hopefully I will get a lot of stitching time in. So I might get this column done, but for sure I will get my year-end goal done. And if I don't finish that column, I'm fine with that as long as I finish my year-end goal. And even my year-end goal might take quite some time because, as I said, those sails will start in this column and therefore this column is quite confetti heavy. So yeah, that's my goal for this one. So hopefully next week you see this. I have finished my goal on it. That would be pretty cool. Especially because it's the last full coverage project I have where I haven't finished my goal on yet. And that mostly is because it just takes such a long time to stitch it. And I think about 2 months ago, I had only done 1,500 stitches the whole year. And now I have more than doubled that amount. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Looking forward to starting my next page. That's always cool, but it's especially really cool when it's a page you've been really working on for a long time to actually then finish that page. That's just always really amazing. So last project I need to show you is my stitch along. This is basically Hello Petal by Caterpillar Cross Stitch, and together with a real life friend and everyone who wants to join, I know already 2 of my followers have joined us. I'm doing this as a stitch along. 5 parts. They are all put in here. Basically, we go around the tree counterclockwise. I have already finished part number 1. I showed you that in my last video, which was this big flower, the tree trunk, all of the grass, bird, and bird's nest. So the next part will start on Sunday, on the 28th of November. And it will be those flowers up here and then the sheep. So I think it might even be a little bit smaller than part number 1. Not sure. But that's going to be the second part. And I'm looking forward to stitching that. Yeah, as I said, on Sunday, the next part is going to start. So I hope that I will actually get some stitching in on Sunday itself. And then it will continue as my travel stitching. So yeah, looking forward to that. And I show you where I'm at. That's what I wanted to do. I knew there was something missing. So this is where I'm at right now, with part number 1 completely done, and you can already see the sheep's feet and his ear. So yeah, that's where part 2 is going to be. This one is stitched on a 28 count even weave, and I'm stitching 1/1 4 crosses, needleminder from Blanca Designs. So this is my starting point, hopefully getting a good chunk done of part number 2 until you see it next. Now I'm going to take a quick break to drink something, and then I'll be back with some questions. So last week in my video, I was talking about my plans for 2022, or just saying that those are already done and I already know what I'm going to do, and it's all set in stone, more or less. And I never said anything about my plans for 2022, so of course a lot of you were curious what actually were my plans for 2022. I'm not going to go into detail a whole lot, mostly because there will be a whole video about that together with the whip parade on the 1st of January 2022. I did that this year on the 1st of January where I did a whip parade and my finishes of 2020 and my plans for 2021 and all my whips. And more or less the same video I will do on the 1st of January 2022 to tell you about my finishes this year and my plans for next year and show you all my whips. Especially because a few of them you haven't seen in a while. So I'm just going to very briefly talk about my plans now. 2022 will be my year of the oldest projects. I'm only stitching for about 2.5 years now. So my oldest project is 2.5 years old, so not super old. Nevertheless, I want to concentrate on my older projects. So basically, what happens next year, the older the project, the more progress it will get. And that's my plan for next year. I want to finish a few things next year. So yeah, but the older the project, the more progress it will get. That's basically my plan for next year. And then I had Elle, who's the stitching field here on Flosstube. She has her own Flosstube channel and a lot of her coverage as well. So I will link her channel below if you want to check her out. She asked a few questions. So first one, you mentioned you always have 5 projects per week. Will you change that when your current WIPs fall below 5? No. I will only take those WIPs, or I will only stitch on those WIPs where I haven't finished my goal. And if that's less than 5, then I'm fine with that. I talked in this video about hopefully finishing next week my last full coverage WIP. If I feel the urge to stitch on something full coverage, or if I feel the urge to stitch with pattern keeper, stuff like that, I might allow myself one day of stitching on mini Cinderella. So just to get to stitch on something else, I might switch to mini Cinderella for 1 or 2 days. But otherwise, I'm just going to stick with those projects where I have not yet finished my goal on, because I really want to finish all my goals, and especially on Cinderella Rex ridges, there's still quite a long way to go until I reach that point. And we only have about 6 weeks left in the year, maybe even less. So I have to get going. And that's the reason I will then have less than 5 in my rotation, and I will be fine with that. Next question. If you finish all your goals before the end of the year, will you simply start over, or do you have something planned? That's a complicated one. Basically, I do have 2 ideas in mind that I would like to do. And I'm not yet sure what to do when I get to that point. The first idea is, and that's something one commenter on a few videos back mentioned as well, and I love the idea. Basically, take all my projects and go through them and start with the one I finished my goal on first, and then move along all my projects until I lastly stitch on the one I finished my goal on last. I love the idea. I really do. But to really enjoy the process, I would have to do at least 1 day rotations on on every single one of my projects. And that would mean I need at least 18 days in the year left. I'm not sure I'm going to get that. Yeah, I'm kind of close with all my projects, but I think in the end they will take longer than I do now think they will. So not sure about that. The second idea is, and that's actually one I really like as well, I'm just going to stitch on mini Cinderella till the end of the year. The end of the year is always stressful with Christmas and stuff. So to just stitch on one project kind of takes a bit away from that. And the more I get done on mini Cinderella, the higher the chance I will actually be able to finish mini Cinderella next year. Because for mini Cinderella, I have a goal of 5,000 stitches next year. Well, 5,000 stitches won't get me a finish on that project. But the more I stitch this year, the higher the chances are that 5,000 stitches will get me a finish next year. So yeah, I'm still kind of torn, but I still have a few projects where I haven't finished my goal yet. So I'm fine with that, and I'm just continue stitching on my goals and getting closer to the point where all my goals are done. I can continue thinking about what I actually want to do when I get to that point. And her last question was, how are your curtains coming along? Yeah. not good. I do have, so for everyone who does not know, I'm crocheting my own curtains for, first of all, for the bathroom. And basically I'm crocheting those squares, and then I'm going to block them and sew them together to have my curtains. I have now 4 of those squares completely finished, so it's completely finished and blocked and put away. And I have 4 of them finished but not yet blocked. This is one of those which is not blocked yet. And that's it. So more or less nothing. For my travel stitching, I do have a paddle where part 2 will be out on Sunday. And then I have 1 month to finish part 2, and on the 28th of December, part 3 will be released. And then I have to twist a band sampler where I'm already on the last part and hoping to finish half of my last band this week. So I might run out of travel stitching getting closer to the end of the year. So my idea at the moment is to then take my crochet curtains with me as travel stitching or travel crochet, and go with that. I think that's kind of an idea I like, and for the moment I just let them linger and not crochet anymore because I really don't feel like doing any crochet. I want to stitch. I want to get my goals done, and I do not want to do crochet, so I don't. I'm pretty sure I will get to the point where I want to do a lot of crochet, and then I can get back to my curtains. And over the year or over Christmas and stuff, I think it will be nice to have some crochet, because when I'm at my parents', my mom and I like to sit on the couch and do some crochet or do some crafting, but stitching is always kind of complicated to take with me, so it would be nice to just take the crochet things. So yeah, that's basically it, I think. Okay, I hope I answered all the questions and did not miss any. I'm not sure, but I think I answered everything. If you have any more questions, feel free to comment below. I will answer them. Normally I answer to your comment, and then sometimes if I feel like it needs a bigger, better explanation, I do that in my video as well. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope all questions get answered, but if you have some more, leave them below. Feel free to like, subscribe, and comment as you wish, and I hope to see you next Monday. Bye!